What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. We're here for the newest and latest, greatest episode of the Pretenders and Contenders Coaches Show. Coach Devon Powell, your head coach from Law High School, varsity football, and your host for the night. And joining me today, I got my co-host. I ain't gonna say the co-host because he the man. My guy, the Midnight Rider, who's joining me in today. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I just wanted to get on the hottest show in town, man. Show with the baddest intro.
No, well, yeah, the intro is tough. I'll take credit for that one. The intro is tough, but I don't know about the baddest show. You know, I got a lot of competition out there. I'm trying to catch up to you guys. You know, just to be a part of the family.
Nah, we glad to have you, man. Glad you just taking this on with all the excitement, man. I've been proud of just watching you do your thing each week, week in, week out. I can just see the changes. It's like you're growing into this and getting more and more comfortable, man. I can't wait to see, like, in a month from now, what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be sky's the limit.
Yeah, man, it's definitely something that's not something I'm used to. You know, I tell a lot of people, you know, only time I'm not shy is when I'm on the football field. So,
right,
you know, I'm usually a quiet guy. But hey, I'm enjoying it, man. This has been great, man. The feedback has been great from everybody. A lot of people reaching out, man, you know, wanting to be on the show. And I'm excited, man. And, you know, with tonight's show and then the shows we got lined up the next couple of weeks, man, it's just amazing how this thing is taking off, man.
But that's what we knew from the beginning. We just said all you had to do is get started. It's almost like that Field of Dreams thing. If you build it, they will come. And that's what happened, man. You just built the product and it fits everybody. And that's why it's easy. I mean, not easy, but you're going to have people wanting to be here because you're just doing so much stuff and it's so much impactful stuff.
Yeah, man. And it's, you know, it's one thing I always say, you know, I wanted to put a lot of focus on PG County because I think there's a big lack in the exposure there. But, you know, the state of Maryland, DMV, man, there's a lot of good things going on in football, man. And basketball and all the other athletics, man. It's just, you know, we just got to bring awareness. You know, a lot of those bigger schools, I've been saying this for weeks, a lot of the private schools, you know, the WCAC, the MIAA on a lower note, but, you know, those schools get a lot of publicity and, you know, it's well deserved. I ain't mad at them. I used to coach in the MIAA at Pilates, so I understand. But, you know, it's a lot of good things going on in the public schools as well. In some of these smaller schools. So that's what I'm trying to bring, you know, awareness to, man, that we here. And you know, just giving these student athletes some love.
For sure. That's all we need, man. I mean, I remember back in the day, there was a show that used to come on 50, back on DC Cablevision that was kind of like the highlight show for the DMV in terms of high school football. I forgot what it was called, but that used to be the thing.
You had to let me know that one. I don't know that one.
Yeah, this was back in the day. This was like mid 90s. It was a show that used to come on, and they'd show like some of the top plays from some of the top matchups in the city. Yeah, but this was probably like 94, 95.
Oh, okay, so that was during my time when I was in high school. So
right,
gotcha. All right. Well, man, you know, like I said, we got a great show lined up today, and you know, excuse me, everybody out there, if y'all hear all this thunder in the background, because it's throwing down out here in good old Sever. But we got a good show lined up today, man, and we want to start it off today by talking about an event that I went to this weekend that my team actually participated in. You know, the Washington Commanders and their youth division sponsored a 7-on-7 tournament and big man challenge this weekend. They called it the Commanders 11 on event, and it was held out there at the fields at RFK. Great location. Had 12 schools that participated in there. Law High School, you know, my team, Friendship, Collegiate, Digital Pioneers, Bell from out DC, Bowie High School, Duval High School, Fairmont Heights, Osborne Park. I'm trying to remember all the teams that was there. Plenty of them, man. And it's just a good day of some 7-on-7 games. and then they had the big guys doing some one-on-one battles off to another field. And it was just a great event, man. The Commanders, they pulled out all the stops. They fed us all. It was a free event. We didn't even have to pay for it. So, that's always great.
Yeah.
And it got cut short a little bit because of weather on Saturday, man. But it was a good event. It was the first year that they held it. So I was excited and glad that we got the invite to come out to it. And the guy that runs the youth division for the Commanders, Dan Levy, he also agreed to come on the show one day and talk about all the things that they got going on in the community. This leadership group has, not saying that Dan Snyder didn't do it when he was here, but this leadership group has taken a big interest in giving back to the community, and they're doing some great things. Like I said, I was invited to the couple of weeks ago when we went down to mini camp. They invited the high school coaches out to that. And then we had this event here, and then now they've taken over the sponsorship for PG County for the flag football that's coming to PG County. So they're doing some great things, man. And it was exciting to be a part of, and I love that they're reaching out and building these relationships with coaches.
My bad, Coach. I lost you for a second. Say that last part.
And I was just saying it's exciting to be a part of that and to see that, the opportunities that they're bringing to the area with our high schools and the youth in the area.
So what's the format of the 7-on-7? Is it just straight up? Is it a tournament? Is it like a knockout round? How do they set that up?
So they did it a little different. The whole event was supposed to be not just include the 7-on-7. So everybody was guaranteed 4 games in the 7-on-7, and you receive points depending on if you won or lost and, how many points you scored. So then in the big man competition, they was giving out points for how many for when each person won a rep. You got a certain amount of points. And then before the Storms came, they were supposed to have a relay, each team relay. And then they were supposed to also do like the longest pass, longest punt, longest pass by O-lineman, that type of competition. And it's supposed to be points for everything. And then at the end, they would total up everything and a champion would be crowned after that. So, like I said, we had some storms come through. So we only got through the 7-on-7 and the big man part. We didn't get to do the relays and things like that. But in the end of it, Friendship Collegiate, they wound up being crowned the champion. They went undefeated in the 7-on-7 portion, and they look pretty good doing it. Coach Mike Hunter has a nice squad out there, a lot of athletes on the team. He's going to be joining us on a future show coming up in a couple of weeks, and he's doing some big things out there, Friendship, man. And they had some linemen out there that look like grown men out there. So, that was exciting to be a part of, and, congratulations to them for winning that tournament, and we're looking forward to the Commanders doing some more of these events coming up soon.
Now, all this took place in Ashburn, correct?
No, it was at the fields at RFK.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So it's right outside RFK Stadium, man. They got like 4 fields there. Nice little park they built there. That was actually my first time going through there, but it is actually nice. I don't see them that staying there after they build a new stadium there because it's so close. But it's a nice little park, man. They do kickball there. They got workout equipment. So it's a nice little spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think you see you guys going back next year if they have it?
Yeah, if they have it, we definitely go back there. It was well run, like I said, and they fed us and it was free. So I would definitely not turn down an invite to go back to something like that. And it just builds a relationship, man. They do a lot of events throughout the year and through the season. So it's always good to have that NFL team in your area, partner with you and your program. So that's a great thing.
Quick question for you before we hop on, move on. Since you've been doing this, is there a difference in this new staff or this new Commanders group in terms of commitment and the type of events they throw?
It definitely seems like a difference. I'm a diehard fan. I still believe in calling them the Redskins.
Right.
Still getting used to calling them Commanders, but it definitely seems like they're reaching out to more of the region than what they used to in the past. Not saying that they didn't, hold events and, do community things like that, but now it just seems like a difference. It seems like there is more events.
Okay.
Like I said, we just did the mini camp a few weeks ago, and then they come back with this event, and they also had a couple of flag football camps that they did at several different schools. They did one at Law High School, and so it just seems like they're putting on a lot of events and more than what they did in the past.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah, it seems like this ownership group just gets it,
Right.
in all fashions, all fashions. Even when they revealed the throwback jerseys this week or last week, I think that was on the 9th. A lot of people were complaining they wanted the old logo and all of that stuff, man. But I think the uniforms look great, even with the double helmet. So I like them. I'm ready to get my jersey now. So this group seems to just get it, man. And like I said, I don't know how much Dan Snyder and his group got things, which we know they didn't, but it's definitely night and day with this ownership group.
Cool.
All right. All right, just real quick, I got Matty Ice checking in with us, saying good evening. And guys, if you didn't listen to the drive time with Matty Ice today, you need to go check out that show because he had a great show today. And I wish I could have got on there with him, but I was traveling at the time. So, but check out the drive time with Matty Ice. Did you get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, I was actually in the car listening to him, and I was waiting because I knew he really wanted to get to that last section with the grinders gears. That's something he's been big on, talking about just the youth and umpires, and things of that nature. I actually think we might go back. Gosh, I can't think of the gentleman's name. We had a referee on passenger seat 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he was.
Oh yeah, that was that Derek?
Yeah, was it Dirk? Something like that.
I remember the show. Yeah, he was on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so we had him, and I know he was very passionate about it. So I'm gonna try to work out something where maybe we can get him in. Maybe we do a show at 8 on Monday, give him a triple header or something, and have a nice little talk. But I'll get with the big guy on that. I'll get with the boss and see what we can do.
Gotcha. All right, well, took a little bit longer there, but we good. We're gonna move into our next segment. We call this the Straight from the Huddle segment, where we want to bring in our first guest for the night. It's Coach Troy Gibson, head coach from Severn Run High School. There we go. What's going on, Coach?
Fellas, man? Nothing much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Midnight Rider, me and Coach TJ, man, we like family.
No doubt.
So we from the same area. All our people know each other, so we say we cousins anyway. So glad to have you on the show today. Coach Troy is used to be assistant coach at Spalding High School. Then he moved on to be the head coach at St. Paul's High School, where you did, how many you did? 4 years there, TJ?
2 years. 2 years at St. Paul's.
2 years. Okay, 2 years at St. Paul's. And now he's the new head coach at Severn Run. Well, they just finished their inaugural season this season. And, glad to have you on the show today. And, man, definitely wanted to have you on there because you just did some work with the DC Defenders during, their championship season. So how you feeling tonight, TJ?
I'm good, man. Just got back from a nice little golf tournament with the National Coalition. Getting ready for workouts this week. We go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, 3 days a week. 7-on-7 in the evenings on Wednesdays is a full day for us, but getting ready for the work week and getting ready for the season.
All right, good. So real quick, man, just talk about your coaching career. I know I just mentioned some of your stops. We'll just talk about your coaching career, how you got started, and what's going on with that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so I was going to year 14 coaching. Kyle Schmidt was the head coach, football coach. He's now the head coach at Spalding High School. up in Severn, Maryland. He was a head coach at Atherton High School, where I graduated from. And after I was finishing playing at Bowie State University, he put me on the staff, on the JV staff there. I was the JV offensive coordinator for 2 years, and a running back coach there as well too. Then he got the job at Spalding in 2013. We start ramping that program out where it is at today. I was a running back coach there, recruiting coordinator there. In my last 2 seasons, I finished up as the offensive coordinator there at Spalding. Then I got the opportunity to be the head coach at St. Paul's School up in Timonia, Maryland, Brooklynville, Maryland. I was the first person of color head coach there at St. Paul's in any sport there. So it was a great opportunity. I worked underneath Dr. Trusty, the head of school there. Was a great mentor for me there, learning how to be a head coach and all the ins and outs of the administrative work there as a head coach there underneath him as well too. Then Severn Run reached out. People in the community of Severn Run reached out about their head coaching job in December of 2022. And I interviewed there and felt great with their administration. Ms. Kennelly, the principal there, felt a great vibe with them. And it was a good chance to get back in the community where I was at Spalding for 9 years and get back there and be able to start the program at Severn Run last year, our inaugural year.
So speaking of that, it's a lot of work being the head coach of any program, but you're coming into a new situation where it's a new school, and nothing's established. You got to get in and you got to establish the culture. You got to find players to make sure you get them, out involved and interested. And so tell us a little bit about that journey, how that's been.
Dal, so Severn Run, we pulled from 4 different schools. We pulled from Old Mill, North County, Meade, and Glen Burnie. So we'll put as like a mixing pot there, 4 different cultures, try to blend into one to our Severn Run culture, what we try to build there our first year. We didn't have no weight room our first year. We was down the street at Randazzo Park, working out twice a week. That's the only time we can get the fields down there. We couldn't get in the weight room, couldn't get stronger, bigger, stronger, faster in the weight room. But we made it work. We did like a 3-hour workouts, 2 days a week. A lot of like strongman stuff, flipping tires, sledgehammers, push-ups, rope work, stuff like that. Be able to practice as well too, because I wasn't a contract coach yet, but try to get stuff out the way. But we really didn't know who was coming into the school in the summer parts as well too. So we averaged about 20 to 30 kids there, and some of our kids we worked out didn't even come to our school in August as well too. So it was a crazy situation, but we made it through the summertime. Then I met about 70 kids the first day of practice, and they didn't know who I was. I didn't know who they were. And we were just figuring it out as we went, getting to know and build the culture at Severn Run. I like how it's going now. Now, as we've been together now for like a year now, getting to know our players and our administration and our families and everything like that. So, but it's been a great experience so far, and I'm looking forward to year 2.
Good. Go ahead, Midnight.
Question: At what point last year do you feel like it kind of came together for you? Since you're building a culture, like where's that?
It really didn't come together. Yeah, it's the playoff game actually. We didn't win a game all season last year, the regular season at all last year. Lost the playoff game as well, but everything started clicking in the playoff game. We lost an overtime game to the number 2 team in our region. We're the last the 7th team in our region, our district, and but the way those guys played and the passion they played with and the intensity they played with, so we got a chance in the future as well too. And this offseason they showed it as well too. We averaged about 50 to 60 guys in the weight room in the wintertime, same thing in the spring, and right now in the summertime we're lifting about 75 kids right now. So it's really good. We also have a lot of guys who bounce back from the private schools who want to be a part of this new thing as well too, and create a special culture here at Severn Run too.
Cool.
Quick comment here. This is Coach Moot, one of my offensive coaches at law. He was at Fairmont Heights last year. So Severn Run definitely built and gave us some good bump last year. And then my guy, Kirsten Miller, he says looking forward to this new season with you guys over there. He's our guest on here last week and covers a lot of high school sports in the area. All right, so quickly, briefly, talk about some of your returning players, that you're excited to see what they're going to bring in the second year in the program.
Yeah, definitely. Our cornerback, Caden Lingo, came from Meade High School. He started as a freshman there when the 7-row wasn't built yet. He was a captain for us last year as a sophomore. First player 7-run history to make all county as well too. Great corner, good slot receiver for us as well too. Caught a lot of balls for us, bubble screens, hitches, outs, stuff like that as well too. Jet sweep guy, very electric on the football field. Great player and great family as well. So looking forward to for his junior season this year. I think he'll do great this year for us. And second one is Shane Gloucester, defensive lineman for us. He was also all county as a junior last year for us, played offense and defensive line for us. And offensive side of the ball, we ran behind him, ran power counter behind him. We make sure we switched him. We didn't care if the defense knew which side we run the ball to. But that guy was incredible for us in the trenches, both sides of the ball. I think he had about 11 sacks last year as a junior as well too. And he was just a monster in our interior for us last year as well.
Okay,
cool. So, in terms of style, do you have a style, or are you a multifaceted kind of a coach?
As a philosophy guy, or like offensively? Philosophy, we do what fits us. We're always adapting to everything, like that offense and defensive schemes and specials as well too. I was originally a no huddle guy, fast tempo, spread guy, but with our players we have right now, I think we have to change a little bit of stuff up. Still keep some of those principles in our offense, but at the same time adapt to the guys who we have as well too. But philosophy-wise, high energy guy on the field. That's my comfort zone. That's my beach right there. So I'm a way different personality on the football field than I am out in the streets as well too.
He's just like me. Just like me.
Yeah.
Quiet guy, but on the football field, a different type of animal.
No doubt.
Unlike our next guest, he a little crazy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the same thing defensively, we have to pressure you, get after you on defense as well too. Just make stuff difficult for offenses as well too. So
Gotcha. Well, before we let you go, TJ, man, you had the great opportunity, man, to work with the DC Defenders this season, and in their championship season, man. If you can, touch on that experience and what was your role there working with the Defenders?
Yeah, definitely. So I got involved with the Defenders through the National Coalition of Minority Football Coaches. Mike Lively, the University of Maryland head football coach, is the president of that coalition. Javed Brown helps him run that, and I got selected through a fellowship. Applied through it last winter and fall, and I got selected for that. And also, anybody like in the state of Maryland or nationwide as well too, that's a minority football coach, I highly suggest you to join that coalition. A lot of professional developments. Stuff on online on Zoom and on the internet for resources for our coaches as well too. And also the convention this year is actually in Washington D.C. Valentine's Day weekend on February 13th and 14th this year in D.C. and a lot of coaches throughout the nation. Nick Saban's a part of it as well. Other coaches throughout the HBCUs and other minority football coaches in the Division I, Division II, Division III levels take part of that. A lot of great information on how to go navigate through the business of football as well too. So I highly suggest for any minority football coach to be a part of the coalition. It's been great to me, obviously, with the opportunity to coach with the DC Defenders this year. I went down for training camp this year, and when I was down there for training camp, our head coach Shannon Harris wasn't a head coach. It was Coach. I'm trying to look on his name real quick. He's now at Tennessee State.
Isn't it
Took a
Reggie
job
something?
there. Reggie.
Barlow.
Barlow.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, Reggie Barlow was the head coach down there. He had the opportunity to go to Virginia State. Shannon Harris took the lead of that organization after a week or two after the season started and everything, and it's been great. I was working with Shannon with the quarterbacks down there. I worked with the offensive line down there during training camp as well too. Then I came back home for the rest of the season as well. So I worked on game days as the season was going on. At first, I was like getting special teams on and off the football field, calling for all the specials, punt return, kickoff return, making sure if any injuries, we get any substitutions on our right and stuff like that as well. Then I also was able to get in the booth as well too with the offense, charting plays, making sure the iPad and stuff like that, getting the video, the stuff with the offensive coordinator as well too. So those are my responsibilities this year. Next year, I'll be a little bit more off-field stuff, working with the general manager, Vaughn, helping with like personnel stuff. Also, a little bit with the football as well too.
Man, that sounds like a great experience, man. And it's always good for us high school coaches to get a taste of the higher levels, man, and to see how they operate, because that's stuff that we can bring down to our level as well.
No doubt.
One of the pieces I like to take notice of, especially when I go to things with the Commanders, is the organizational part.
No doubt.
Just the structure of practices, how smooth it's run, the tempo and things like that. And that's things that I bring back to my team. So I know you was able to get a lot of good information to bring back to your squad and your staff.
Yeah, no doubt. I learned a lot from like the strength and conditioning staff. There was awesome. They only have a limited roster, so they have to keep their players healthy, how they work with their players in the weight room, conditioning wise, keeping them healthy, as well as it was a big one for me, especially us too in high school with our limited rosters and limited players with experience as well too, and keeping those guys healthy through the season. The in-game adjustments, how they're talking as well too, in between drives was awesome to see that. Practice structure was another big thing I took as well too, how the tempo and how they transition really from drill to drill, from team period to special teams, and how that fast tempo pace goes in practice was really eye-opening to me.
Got you. Midnight, you got anything for him before we let him go?
Do you get a ring?
I do get a ring, yeah. So I was down there. So I was down for the championship game as well too, yeah, and everything. And the day before we got fitted for rings and everything. So I get a ring as well too. It was awesome to celebrate it last Saturday at the wharf. We had a nice celebration down the wharf to see it with the fans and everything as well too. So I'm looking forward to seeing getting that ring.
Yeah, you gotta come back and show it all for us, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, look, I'm excited to pick up my state basketball championship ring soon. They'll be in soon, but shoot, that's a professional ring there. I want one of those. All right, Coach TJ, appreciate you, man, taking some time out and joining us, man. And good luck this season. I'll be checking you guys out, man, and especially since I'm on this side of town now, I'm right around the corner. So whenever I get an opportunity, I'm gonna come over there and check you guys out.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, no problem. All right, that was Coach Troy Gibson, head coach of Severn Run High School. Like I said, Troy TJ is like family with me, man. We've known him forever, and great coach, man. He takes this stuff serious and he puts in the work. All right, well, our next guest coming up is Coach Parrish from Bowie High School. The head football coach there at Bowie. Part of the Prince George's County Football Coaches Association. What's going on, Coach?
What's happening? Man? Can't complain, brother, other than this weather.
Yeah, the weather crazy, man. And I saw you pop in. That's why I had to put that crazy comment out there.
Nah, I got you. Nah, you was about accurate. You was about accurate. You was about accurate.
Yep. So we're glad you can come on in with us today, man. And since I started this show, man, I've been trying to spotlight our PG County programs, man. And I'm making it a point to have all our coaches come in on the show before the season starts, man. So I'm glad you can join us today. Hope I ain't take you from the field. Look like you home already, so I ain't bothered like you was in practice. But thanks for checking in with us tonight.
Nah, I appreciate you bringing me on. I mean, this is a great opportunity, great platform. So I'm very appreciative.
Mm-hmm. So give us a little background on you and your coaching career, man, and how long you been in PG County and where you get started out at.
Well, I'm a PG County native. Got into coaching pretty much when my playing career was over. When they told me I wasn't good enough anymore for the pros. I think I started right after I got cut, and I want to say in 2009, came back home, and I joined my former head coach Eric Knight at Crossland. I ended up coaching with him for that 2009 season. Ended up going back to school, finishing up my degree. I was a student assistant there for that season. Ended up graduating, coming back home. Went to my alma mater, Potomac. Coached there for a year. Then ended up going to Prairie Street Prep. It used to be Old Hyde. I think they're in the old Taft Middle School building right there on South Dakota Avenue in DC.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was there for a couple years. I had an opportunity to come back to my alma mater as a coordinator now. When I first was there, I was a position coach, came back as a coordinator. Was there for about 3 years, and I've been here at Bowie for the last 9 years. 9 years, 8 on the field, minus COVID, but 9 years. I've been fortunate enough to lead Bowie High School football program.
Gotcha.
What
Yeah, go ahead.
What
Midnight.
former head coach of yours do you think helped create this fiery style of coaching that you have?
I mean, I would say it's a mixture. It's a mixture of Eric Knight, Patrick Burns, God bless the dead, and Marvin Jackson. They always call me Baby Jackson. That's kind of like my second father, definitely my football father. Somebody that is actually my assistant head coach, and I was fortunate enough to have him join my staff when I became a head coach. So I would say that's definitely probably the main one that I kind of get my mindset from. But it's not purposely; it's organic, and it's just the passion that we all have for the game. But those three men played a big role in my coaching career.
Gotcha.
Go ahead,
So
Coach.
you was coaching. His squad was out there with us Saturday at the Commanders 11 on event. What was your take on that event? We was talking about it earlier, but what was your take on it?
Yeah, I tapped in. I was listening to it. Definitely was a great event. For it to be like you said, free. I mean, you can't beat that. And then I think the level of competition was there. That was out there was good. You got to see some charter schools from the city and a Digital Pioneer who we actually are scrimmaging this preseason, and then Friendship. Actually had some good battle with those schools, and then we had some in county schools, UAll, Laurel, and then Fairmont and the Duval. Didn't get to play any of those teams, any of those guys. So, but it was like I said, it was definitely a great opportunity to get some good work in. See different competition, level of competition. The big man, I got some of my big guys to get out there and go compete and kind of see where they stand up against the, guys around the area. So definitely was a great thing, great event. I would love to do it again. Hats off to the Commanders. Thank you to the Commanders, for hosting a great event and giving guys the opportunity to come out and fellowship in the game of football that we all love and coach.
what is something from one of these types of events that you want to have like as a takeaway? Like, is there something in particular, whether it's a player, um, anything that you
Well,
think
me
that? Go ahead.
Well, me being a former lineman, I'm not really a big 7-on-7 fan, so
Right.
I always tell my guys that. So, when we go out there, we want to use it, to help us build on defense, as far as our communication with our coverages, with our wide receivers, our alignment, knowing how deep to run our routes, the timing. So we use it for that. I mean, of course, you want to go out there, you want to win, but at the end of the day, it's practice, and it's getting reps. So I feel like long as we're, doing those things that I talked about, we'll come out on the winning end in those games. But that's really what I look at 7-on-7 for. Just really the sharpen ourselves. Like I said, as far as our coverages, our receivers, depths, and all that good stuff. But it's 11-on-11 at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm an offensive guy, man, but I always tell people I hate 7-on-7 season. Like I said, it's good because you get to work on some of the things you just said, route running, your depths, your spacing, your coverages. You get to work on that, the communication on the defensive side, on the back end of it. All of those things are great. I just think it gives us false sense of football.
Yeah,
It's
then the theatrics that come along with it, because some of the things that you get away with in 7-on-7, you can't do that, in
exactly
11-on-11. So it's a fine line because you want the guys to, enjoy themselves and have fun, but at the same time, let's keep the main thing, and that's going out there and playing football. It's not always about the show.
Yep, you're right about that. You're right about that. And I think that's one of the biggest things why I don't like 7-on-7 so much is the way that is. And I'm not going to say it's as much during the high school periods of it. It's the travel teams, everything,
Mm-hmm.
those tournaments they go to, it's all about showboating, man. And I hate that part of the game. I talk trash with the best of them, but
Yeah.
it's a fine line when you just out there just trying to showboat and it takes away from the sport. So
Yeah,
that's probably
my biggest thing is you got a guy out there, your team losing, and yeah, you made a great play, a good play, but oh, you losing, man. Why we celebrate? You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
And then it's the guys that maybe hadn't made a play, the year before, or since they've been in high school, and my thing, act like you've been there. You know what I mean? Because hopefully you can make that play again. You'll be in that end zone again. You'll get that interception again. So let's act like we've been there before because, and when you really look at it, looking at the college game, I mean, I can't get too mad because that's what they see on television. That's what they see, from the pros, and it's no penalty to that, but it's a penalty for us. You know what I
right,
mean? So it's
right.
like we don't live in that world, though we are playing the same game. So, like I said, let's keep the main thing, and like I said, focus on getting better, and sharpening our tools, and getting ready for this 11-on-11 season.
Right. A couple of comments in the chat real quick. Coach Mook says, glorified practice. Everyone look good in shirts and shorts. Yeah, that's what I call the t-shirt and shorts warriors, man. They get out there and look great. Then when those pads start clickety clacking, they ain't nowhere to be found.
Man.
And then he also said, blame social media in that OT7 circuit.
Mm-hmm.
And then my guy Kirsten said it's all different when them pads come on. Dang on right. Seen a lot of people shy away and disappear once August 13th show up.
What's funny? It's a lot of teams that do 7-on-7, but when the season get there, man, they about to hand that ball off, man. So
right.
I guess it's good that they working on the passing game, but it's like, man, we know what you gonna do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, man, if you can run the ball, man, you could do anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you got them bigs up front, that's going to allow you to protect the quarterback, open up holes. There's nothing to be said.
Right. And last comment, Coach Vic, over there, Blake High School. He said, my God, Gus.
Yeah, that's the only coach I know that could float between PG and Moco.
Right.
Nobody say nothing, but that's my guy. You know, he a Bowie alum, state championship. You know, way to rep. You know, what I mean, my guy Vic.
Yeah, look, I've been trying to get him back on the PG County side for a while.
Come on.
So I'm still working on that, Vic. And I know you're listening. So we're gonna get you
I hope
back.
I'm about to say, I hope I ain't saying too much. He already working PG. You know what I mean? You know,
I
he
know.
from PG. You know,
I know. We gotta get him back over here on this side, man.
right?
Coach,
Go ahead.
what's something that you're looking forward to when at the start of this season with your team? Like, what is something that you have circled? Like, this is something bulletin board. This is something we're gonna be.
Say again now. What do we want to?
I asked you 2 questions at once, and I apologize. I was going to ask you, basically, as a coach, you seem like you're a big physical guy. And I think that one of your things or one of your templates that you build your program on is probably some physicality. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, we definitely want to be physical. We want to be physical. We want to be smart. We want to be disciplined. You know what I mean? And we want to play together. I think in teams in the past that we've had here at Bowie, we've had talent, but we hadn't had a team. You know what I mean? We hadn't had guys that actually believed and bought into the team aspect. You know, everybody wants to achieve individual goals, but, you know, this is a team game, you know, and I always tell my guys, you know, you can achieve an individual goal within a team game because what they say, cream rises to the top. So if you that guy, you're going to make plays. You know, if you that guy and you're trying to force it, it's not going to happen. You know, so, you know, let's be a team and let's just play and let's see what happens. You know, let's not worry about the things that we can't control. You know, that's probably the biggest thing that I look for in my guys going into the season is kind of, you know, what's their mindset? You know, are we a team that's a front runner? Are we a team that's able to, you know, battle? You know, what are we? So I always look to try and find that early on, and you know, maybe we can build on it if it's something that's positive, and if it's something that's negative, we could, you know, try to shake it and, you know, put something positive on it. But, you know, definitely want to be a physical team, definitely want to be a disciplined team, you know, and definitely want to play together.
Cool.
See, that's you know, that's one of the things. That's where, you know, the name for this show came from, man. Pretenders or contenders. That's what I tell my players all the time. What you gonna be? You gonna be a pretender or you gonna be a contender? You know, if you want to be a pretender, go sit down somewhere. This ain't for you. But I definitely understand what you're saying on that. Couple more comments real quick. This my brother, you know, one of my coaches at law, talking about 7-on-7 is a great time to get your passing game crispy. Definitely some cons to it also.
Yeah.
Another one of my coaches, Coach Marcus, talking about that wing T, talking about those schools that ain't passing the ball once them pads come on.
Man, look, now we seeing teams that used to run wing tees. You know, they kind of get a hybrid wing tee now. You know, they throw the pass in now. So, you know, they coming along. They going to their classes, then their glacier clinics.
Right. They evolving a little bit. Right. Coach Vic said we wild. And that's all I say, we wild. But, you know, we're gonna get you back on this side. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we ain't gonna talk about the conversations we done had. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep that off live. But that's like I said, that's my guy Vic, man. He a PG guy.
Right. Then we got another question here. It says, Coach Purse, what is your scheme both offensively and defensively? Are you a run heavy team, pass heavy team, or balanced West Coast scheme?
As far as offensively, excuse me. I'm 60-40. And that could be run or pass. You know, I think it's going to be predicated one on, you know, the guys that we have. You know, it's always going to be looking at the quarterback. Do you have somebody that could throw? Or do you have somebody that could read coverages? So, you know, 60-40, I would prefer it to be run pass. You know, like I said, being a former offensive lineman. But 60-40, and far as what we run a multiple offense. We'll be under center. We'll be in the gun. You know, try to give them different looks. I think this year with the guys that we have, you know, we're going to try to be quick with it. You know, add a quick game, a true quick game. I think we've talked about it in the past, but we really haven't implemented it. I think this year, we're really going to, focus on that and then continue to focus on the run game. Because I think when I know when you play in the 4A South, PG period, when it comes to playoff time, you're going to have to be able to run the ball. We know that. You're going to have to be able to stop the run. As far as defensively, we run a base 40. I said base 40 because it could be a 4-2, it could be a 4-3, it could be a 4-4. It just depends on, who we're playing. So, we like to be able to morph into different fronts and different schemes. But we have a foundation, like I said, which is a base 40. I think last year and years past, we've run a 4-2-5. This year, we might be more of a 4-3 team. We'll see. Like I said, that's all going to be predicated on the guys that we have and what they're able to, comprehend and retain and hold. And, if we're able to add something, so, we'll see. I think what we have so far is we have a group that's very capable. They listen, they learn, and certain things, will be repetitive, but for the most part, we're not repeating, some of the things that we did in the past in regards to the mistakes that we made, implementing and putting in the defense. So those are, I would say, our offense and defense.
Yeah, seeing you guys in 7-on-7, I like your quarterback. I think he throws a good ball out there. He can read the field very well. So speak on some of your players that you're expecting some big things from this season.
I'll start right there with the quarterback, Jordan Creek. He's been a program kid. He's been with us, since his freshman year. And with him, man, I just see the maturity and I see the growth. Looking at last year, him coming off of not playing his sophomore year, he was kind of thrown into a fire. Really, I would say the first game of the season, it was a no-win situation for him. You playing the team that just won the state championship a couple years ago, and we just had a close game with them the year before, and they were coming to our house, and this was his first start, on varsity. We had a new offensive coordinator. Actually missed the game. He'd probably be mad at me for saying it, but it is what it is. He missed the game due to work reasons, so it was like everything that could have went wrong in that game went wrong, but with him, this off season, I've seen a lot of maturity. I've seen a lot of growth. And that's kind of where I'm at with him, is just continue to grow, continue to be that leader, to be that voice. He and I are kind of same. We're emotional, or we have emotion. And I always tell him, you can have emotion, but you can't be emotional when you playing the game.
Right.
You got to have that passion. Yeah, have that passion, but understand, that, you are the quarterback, and I've had some times where I'd had to look at it, man, you are the head coach, and people always tell me, man, you coach like you play, and it's like, I guess, I just want these guys to understand that, man, it's you just got to go hard and you just got to want it. And with him, you see that, you see the passion. Like I said, you see the emotion, you see the growth. And so hopefully he can just continue to build on that, and we can go into his senior season and, have a great one, because he's lost a lot of weight, a credit to him. He's slimmed down. He's moving around. He's like, Coach, I want to run. We can run. Let's just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wants to play defense. That's not going to happen. But
that sounds like my quarterback too. To play defense.
Right, but I love to hear, because that's somebody who wants to be on the field, wants to help in any way he can. And then somebody else, Shavoy White, who's a guy who came to us, didn't really know much about football, hadn't played a lot of football, but you've seen him grow and get better every year. So we're looking for him to have a big year for us. He'll play safety for us as well as some wide receiver. He had some big catches over this past weekend. Defensively, my guy David Hockman, as I like to call him, he held us down as the linebacker. Another guy, a program kid. You've seen him grow. Seen him play one position and move to another position. Now, at linebacker, I think want to say he played the little D line on JV. But last year was his first year really, leading the defense, calling the defense, and looking for him to expand that and elevate his play. On the as far as the O line, Gabriel Sawumi, a big cat, big dog. If I could say anybody that plays with a nasty attitude and a mean streak is him. Right? With him is containing it and getting him to understand that okay, I could do all of this, but I got to do it within the confines and the rules of the game and the whistle.
Right.
When the whistle go, I gotta let go, but I can come back after this. After we get this play, we could come right back. So with him, another guy that you've seen a lot of growth. So those are some guys that I'm really looking to be leaders. One guy that just truly has. I see him getting better every day. For the simple fact that we're moving him around and putting him on different positions within the secondary as Javion Canty. He'll probably play some corner for us. He'll definitely play some safety for us. But you need a guy like him to be your utility knife, and he's one of them. The last guy that I'll talk about is Enoch Barone, another kid who plays with passion. If I could just tell you a quick story about this guy. His freshman year, he just popped up. I'm ready to play, coach. Now, mind you, he registered and everything. Got the physical and everything. We see this lady coming up, walking up. Look, we heard coach looking like, who that? It was his aunt. Mm-hmm. And so his aunt was like, yo, who signed you up? Like, I didn't sign you up. You know what I mean? She's like, what are you doing? And she literally took him off. He not playing. And she was upset for him to, do what he did. But I'm looking, and I'm like, shit, he signed himself up to play. He want to play, man. You got
right. Let me go find.
Yeah, we don't get guys that's eager to come out and play nowadays that really want to play. But of course, she just had to scold them and let them know it's a way to do things. You know what I mean? Right, and you can want to play, but that's the person that's watching over you and taking care of you. So you might want to cue her in on what your plans and aspirations are. But this was a kid who. If you told him to run through a brick wall, he's going to try and run through the brick wall. He's not going to look at it and say, well, damn, maybe I could go over it, around it. Nah, I'm really going to try and run through it, and started out on special teams, and you gradually just seen the comfort level come. And so this year, we're probably going to move him around, play some linebacker, some safety. But just those guys that I mentioned, those are program guys, and those are guys that we're truly looking to lead us and really take us over that hump, and push us to that next echelon of PG teams.
Got you. Well, man, playing against you the last couple of years, man, and I know one thing, you and your staff gonna have those guys ready to go. Y'all can take a break when we come in town. I forgot week 8 or week 9, one of them.
Yeah, I think we coming back to y'all, man. We coming
that's
back.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Y'all do come back to us. That's that's week 9.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We coming back to the light show, as we call it, man.
Yeah. The light side.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you get to see a lot of those lights when y'all come up there.
Nah, I ain't trying to. The beginning is cool, but after that I'm good. I don't. We keep y'all out the end zone. We ain't trying. Nah.
Well, it's definitely it's always fun going up against you, man. And that's Halloween night, matter of fact.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Halloween night. So, for some reason, our players, man, they see this as a rivalry or something, man. They like to go back and forth on social media and stuff. So
right.
Always a fun time when we line up against each other.
The battle of the North Side, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The battle of the North. You know what I'm talking about? I don't mind it. It's definitely been, fun, camaraderie far as, us coaches off the field. I'm very, proud of you and what you're doing, and congratulations to you, on taking on your alma mater. I know, that's something that's cherished, and because I would love to have that opportunity if it presented itself ever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I am with my feet out, but I love what you guys are doing over there, and it's just nothing but respect. Nothing but respect.
Appreciate that, man. And the same as you as well, man. Got a lot of respect for you and your staff. And I still gonna tell your kids about how you got hurt during basketball season, but I ain't gonna put you out. I ain't gonna put you out there right now on that.
Man, look, I don't know. I just seen the fight, and it was had to go do my job, man.
Right.
It just pop. I don't know. It just somebody tripped me up. Somebody ain't want me to go get them up off each other. So, but yeah,
Right. Look, it probably was one of your players who you yelled at during the season. They probably
I know,
took
right? It's
this
like all these
opportunity.
people go ahead. Yeah, this opportunity, man. You got us rolling, man. But it be like that sometimes.
Right. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, man, and spending some time with us.
Yes,
Like I
sir. I
said, good luck
appreciate
to
you.
you guys for the season, man. I'm always checking y'all out and following. So go out there, man. Do y'all thing, man.
Same. Likewise, Coach. I appreciate y'all having me on. Good luck to you all this season. And until you meet us, every game, and you know the saying. I wish you
Right.
the best until you meet us, man.
Yeah. I got you. I'm likewise, man.
Yes,
Likewise.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Have a good one, man. And I'll
All
talk
right,
to you
Coach.
soon.
All right, later.
All right, that was Coach Augustus Paris from Bowie High School, man. One of my guys, good guy. And he right, man. He definitely has that passion, man, and he's a fiery guy, man. And his players, they play for him. They play hard for him, and it's always a battle when we line up with those guys. All right, so we went a little bit over today, man, but it's something I want to touch on, Midnight Ride, if we got time to before we close out tonight, man. And it's the if anybody's been paying attention to social media recently, some news came out today that former NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, he came back, man, and left the NFL ranks, man, and took on a coaching job down in Florida with a team, and did a great job with those guys this season, man. And went through. I think they were they undefeated, Midnight Rider? I think
they went undefeated. And they won the states, right?
Yeah, they went undefeated and won a championship. And then all of a sudden, it comes out today that he's suspended. All because he spent some of his own personal money on, what was it, Uber rides and pregame meals and some gear for his players. And I want to make sure I got the story right. He decided to, to reach out to the community to raise some money back, and now they suspended him.
Mm-hmm.
And forgive me if I'm speaking out of line, if I'm wrong. The guy spent his own money to make sure that his players were equipped, fed, had rides, being a mentor, what we're in this job for. I mean, we love to win, we love to coach, but it's all about being a mentor. And they see it that it's a problem that he's trying to raise, that he raised money to, or tried to raise money to recoup some of that funding that he spent out of his own pocket. What world are we living in, man? Maybe you see it a little different than I do, Midnight Rider, but I'm trying to understand, what is this world coming to, man, when we have a lack of mentorship for our young guys out here, especially our young African Americans. And you got a guy that, made a nice little living for himself. But he shouldn't have to come out his pockets for so much. And he did it, but just because he tried to recoup some of that money, he's being suspended for it now. Tell me if I'm tripping or not.
No. It's the sad part of what people don't realize that coaches deal with. Like, you're trying to create an atmosphere where a kid has a welcome home, an opportunity to be able to do some things, get some things that he wouldn't get. He got kids treatments. He got kids some food. He even got them rides because he didn't have to drive. Maybe he didn't have to drive this kid home, and he got the kid a ride home. These are all the things that I think I call them the things that people don't see. Like, this is the part of the coaching world where you're struggling because you're still got a family at home, and you're still trying to build up and secure this family that is your kids that you're coaching, and that's a tough job to mix at times. And I think the way he went about it was fine. I just think it's the way the culture is set up. It's always something in the way of you trying to do something positive, and it's crazy that it comes to that. It's like they make it harder for you to be successful in something you're trying to do that's a positive.
Right. Yeah, when I saw the story pop up today, and you hit me up and said you wanted to, could we talk about it? And before you did that, I had already made sure to tell myself that I was going to mention this today, because it just, as a coach who dedicates so much of my time, and I take away from my family and my kids and my own personal life, to see somebody that is out there giving back to, as one of our comments say, this is his alma mater, like giving back to the school that he came through, and to come out of his own pockets like that, and to suspend this man for doing something like that, to me, it seems like something political.
Yep.
Because he came in and they had a great season. So I hate to say it, but that's what it seems like to me, that there's a different motive behind the action. But it's just, as a coach, it's disheartening, man. It makes all of us coaches out there question, is it worth it? Yep. Is this worth it? Another comment, Coach Mook said, which doesn't make sense, because if they had a booster club and he made those contributions, it would be fine.
Yep.
And I agree with that. And then Coach Sandra, one of our cheer coaches at law, she says, amen. And she's in the same boat. All of us coaches are. We give a lot of our time during the day, during the week, and we don't get paid, especially up here on the northern part of the world. And we don't get paid nothing for what we do. And you're going to penalize a guy for trying to make a difference in these kids' life and making sure that these kids are straight, all because of some alternative motives, in my opinion.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's the motive of, because you have schools that aren't supposed to be good. Like, you think about back in the day, like school like SMU back in the 80s, where they got punished and they got the death sentence in their punishment. It's just, it's certain schools can win, certain schools can get by with doing some of the things, but certain ones can't. And I think that's what we got today.
Yep. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. It's okay when others can do it. Right. It's okay when some of these other schools are out there having these bull roasts and all kinds of things, and raising all this money, crab feasts and all kinds of things. But this man took money out of his own pocket, didn't ask anybody for anything, took money out of his own pocket, and then decided to do, I don't know the whole situation, with a fundraiser or something, getting donations back to recoup some of his money, and that was an issue. I don't know. Coach Marcus just put in the chat, this is what we mean by when we say others make coaching harder than it should be. And you're right, Marcus. I agree with it. It's the outside political things that makes it hard to deal with. You know, the kids can be difficult at times, but we know what we're getting into when we decide to coach. It's not to deal with the other BS that comes along with it from people that's sitting up on a high horse trying to make decisions and not in the daily grind. Another comment from Coach. Perception is key nowadays. Intentions are positive, but if it paints a picture for the admin of the schools, it's received derogatory.
That's tough.
Yeah. I
think that's the other side of the battle that people don't see is coaches are fighting the parents to get their kids there. They're fighting the kids to maintain their focus. And in certain situations, you're fighting the administration to allow you to do the positive things you want to do for the kids.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. I just, this situation just frustrates me, man. And it's, I'm stumbling over my words because I can say some other things, but I'm trying to keep this family friendly.
Right, exactly. I hear, Coach.
Just in case the kids is out there listening, man. But it's just irritating, man. I just, it's just so much time, and I know he spent a lot of time down there working with that kids in that situation and building, and when he took the job, correct me if I'm wrong, when he took the job, he had just left the NFL. So I only think it was like a period where he was sitting at home for a year or so. Like he had just left the NFL to take this job. And
he actually retired to do the coaching job.
Right, exactly. And now you're gonna suspend the guy because he kicked everybody's butt down there. So now we can't have that.
Exactly.
We can't have that. I don't know many guys down there in the Florida area, but I do have one of my former coaches, Coach Chad Wood, that's the head coach of Chamberlain High School down there in Tampa. And he's going to come on the show in a couple of weeks, man. And I'll be able to pick his brain about, the politics in Florida football because, it is a hotbed down there. It's a lot of competition down there. So I'll be able to pick his brain on some of the things he's seen in his short period of time of being down there. But I had to touch on that situation tonight because it just baffled the hell out of me. I just don't understand things. Like, what is this world coming to?
Yep. That's the facts, man.
Yep. Well, I done went over time, man. The boss BJ said, I was good, but I don't want him to dock my pay. So
well, you got me on the show, so don't worry about it. It's gonna come out of mine. It's gonna come out of mine because they already know I'm the reason every show goes over, so it's all good.
Got you. Oh, before I go real quick, the boss said he wanted to see my shirt. We got the Pretenders or Contenders merchandise. My wife decided to make me a shirt so I can look official. So
that's
I appreciate my wife taking care of me. I call her my stylist. She buy all my clothes and stuff for me because she know I don't like shopping. So
yeah, I'm with you there, Coach.
Yeah. Well, Midnight Rider, man. Before we go, I appreciate you coming on tonight. What you got going on this week, man? Talk about your shows coming up.
Oh, dang. Thanks. All right, way to set that up, man. Like a true professional there, baby.
Man, got to.
Tuesday night, we got tomorrow night, we got the Tuesday night flight. So we'll be recapping the home run derby. We'll probably I think we have a question of the night. I'll post it in the Sideline Junkies 24/7 link. Then again, Wednesday, I have to double check with Jack. I know we're going live Wednesday. I don't know the guest name for Wednesday in the passenger seat, where I get to be a sidekick again. Thursday night throwdown. We'll probably get into tomorrow we'll get into the British Open. We'll have the correspondent on, and he'll break down the British Open for fans. So if you don't know golf like that, or you want to bet an interest and you need somebody to pick out a favorite for you, let the correspondent do it. Then we get to Thursday night throwdown. That's gonna be a mixed bag. And then, of course, Saturday you got the WrestleManiacs. And then Sunday we come back with the Rise. And then Monday at 5 we got Drive Time. And then we come back at 7 with you, Coach.
Hey, man, so I'm telling y'all, man, all the listeners out there, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in and listening to me, man. But we got on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, man, we got coverage for everything, and all of these shows are fire. Like I said, I'm appreciative that they giving me the opportunity to come on with this platform. But you got to check out these other shows, man, because ain't nothing like sitting back and just talking sports, man.
Heck yeah, man.
Just shooting the breeze, talking trash. You might get into a conversation about a sandwich. You never know what you're going to get out of this network, man. So, if y'all got time, make time. And you don't have to listen to live. Always go back, Always subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. And you can watch all these shows whenever you get a chance to. So, again, I'd like to thank you, man, for coming on with me today.
Man, you might be stuck with me for a couple of weeks right now.
Hey, man, look,
good time, man.
Look, I ain't mad at you, man. And I got the plug next week's show, man. Next Monday night we got a great show lined up, man. And I got my guy. He just put a comment in here, man. Coach Dre Cates, assistant coach, Syracuse University football, PG County guy. He's going to be joining us next week, man, to talk about Syracuse football and also talk about the recruiting landscape, NIL, the transfer portal, all those great things. So all you parents out there of, high school players, man, you might want to come in and check out Coach. I know he got a lot of good information for us, man. A good guy, great coach. I'm looking forward to that show, man. And we also got Coach B, Coach Brennan Garrett, head track coach at Law High School, man, coming off of the 4x2 women's state championship. We're going to have him on the show next week, man, and another high energy guy. So it's going to be a great show next week, Midnight Rider.
All right, I should be here in the passenger seat or in the side, ready to go, man. Sidecar.
Gotcha. I appreciate you, man. And Coach Mook, another great show, Coach. Well done. I appreciate y'all, man, for checking in. And, stay safe out there through the storms tonight, man, and tomorrow. And you know what? I'll catch y'all again next week. Everybody have a good evening.